Welcome to AABLI Board Talks, where we're pioneering change.
Good afternoon and welcome to AABLI Board Talks. I'm Nancy Harris, Executive Director of the Faith Foster Families Network and proud AABLI alum of class number 5. This afternoon, I've got the pleasure of speaking with Rosetta Henderson, a motivated leader who currently serves in the role of Community Outreach Project Manager for Southern California Edison. This unique role affords her the opportunity to work and team build extensively with diverse and multicultural communities. I'm excited to have Rosetta here today and be in conversation with her. And so I'm going to start it off by asking Rosetta to just tell a little bit more about yourself, because I know there's an important point that I forgot to add about your background. And so if you could tell us a little bit more about yourself and how you got to AABLI and what class you're from.
Thank you so much, Nancy. It is such a pleasure to be here with you today, and I'm looking forward to our conversation, and I hope the audience find it useful as well. A little bit about myself. I'm originally from Mississippi. I graduated from the University of Southern Mississippi, better known as USM. And during that time, I've learned that it's so important to be of service to others. It is important to give back, and you can give back in a lot of different ways. You can give back, of course, one of the best ways is money. That's always important because it helps any nonprofit organization do some of the things that they would not otherwise be able to do. But also resources. If you have resources, if you know of someone that have, say, for instance, laptops or something that can be donated that can help someone else, that's also important that you connect people. So I'm also very excited about the things I've learned with AABLI. I'm alum number 6, class number 6, and our class was awesome, as well as all the other classes that AABLI has done. So thank you.
You're welcome. Well, today we're going to be talking about how you support and mobilize our youth for leadership in this changing and turbulent environment. As we've all seen, the youth have been leading the way, as always, in movements. And so we want to do what we can as AABLI to support those youth. So, on that note, my first question to you, Rosetti, is this COVID-19 and social justice environment has really been a shock to the system. It's been a shock to all of our systems. It's been a shock to our nonprofits and our businesses. And we've all had to scramble to find new ways to reach out to our populations and our communities. So, in what ways have you noticed the impact has been on our youth and our future leaders?
You know, one of the things that I'm just so excited about is seeing our youth as they're out marching, as they're out asking for change. And it's a little bit more than asking for change. They are really demanding change. And the
Yes.
reason I say they're demanding change is because they're going on 4 weeks now. It is the cinema that they have. It has been long standing. The things that they have been able to accomplish in a short period of time, I have been excited about it. I have been in awe about it. And one of the things I think that we could do to help our young people is to let them know their history. You know, even though we are descendants of slaves, we are also descendants of survivors. And that's important to know that we are resilient people. Any minority will tell you that we have risen through it all and we will continue to rise. So, young people, don't forget your history. I know sometimes you think that, oh, it's not like that. However, being from Mississippi, I could truly tell you the only difference in systemic racism in California is they're dressed a little bit different. It looks a little bit different, and you may not recognize it, but it's still here. So take it from a person that has Southern roots, that went to the first one to all white school, know what it was like to be called the N word, know what it was like at 5 years old to know that nobody wants to play with you because of the color of your skin. But one of the things I always remember my mom told me, I am made in his image. And if I am made in his image, then there's nothing bad about me. So while we're out organizing young people and getting excited about the future, and I'm excited because I know you guys are going to do good things. Just remember your history and remember from where we came, and we will rise again.
Absolutely. Well, let me tell you, that was a lot to unpack. Rosetta. I've got like 15 other questions to ask you as it relates to what you just said. But one important thing, I actually tacking on to what you said, one important thing that I wanted to ask you about that is where, and you said it a little bit in what your family instilled in you, but where did you find that strength being the only one? And first of all, how did you get to the situation that you were the only one? And what did you do within you to find that strength to really persevere on? Because I know those times must have been pretty tough.
One of the things that I learned from being from Mississippi, I'm from a family of nine, it's 6 girls and 3 boys. And my mom and dad, we have the same mom and dad, is she marched with Martin Luther King. So she knew that that was a better way for us. So she wanted me to go to that school to be the first one, along with my older sister who went to high school. She was the first one to integrate into segregated high school, and I was in elementary school. So going there, of course, it was not easy, but one of the things that mom taught me and my dad taught me was that humility and excellence is some of the best qualities that you could have. And as long as you know who you are, no one else can take that away from you.
Very good. Good advice. That's good advice for the young people going forward, also, too. Let me ask you this. We also have had an interesting situation with COVID-19 as well as with the social justice change. It has had an impact on technology. And in some ways, it's been beautiful because it has been that technology that has spurred along the protests and things of that nature. But on the other side, the digital divide has presented a situation where it is noticeable that some of us don't have the same tools that are necessary to succeed. So how do you think we can assist young people with those digital challenges? And now I'm talking pretty much about really younger people, how we can assist them, and maybe even to some high school people too, high school young people too, having to face up against technology that they may not have to compete with others.
You know, one of the things I think that we should do as a community, as an organization, is to find companies that will partner with us. That once a laptop is a year or 2 years old, it may not be good for the company because it slows down. So, what are those companies doing with those laptops? Maybe we can partner with them, build a relationship to get some of those older laptops, or maybe they just want to buy something new and give those to an organization, whether it's AABLI or any nonprofit. And we have a Saturday class. We can do 4 hours where young people come in and they learn how to use the basics. They learn the basic word processing, the basic Excel. Unfortunately, or good, depending on how you look at it, most young people know how to use social media, but what they don't know is the do's and don'ts of social media, because you could really get into trouble with social media that will affect you for the rest of your life. So let's share that information with them, about being careful about who you friend on social media, who you become friends with on Facebook, and the things that they ask you to do. Think to yourself, is that the right thing to do? Because once it's out on social media, it's out there. Even if you delete it, it will follow you 20 years from now. So as educators and as leaders, I think the best thing we could do is be of service and help those young people navigate social media, navigate with the laptops, and how to use the laptops for good.
That's a great suggestion, and also another question that I hadn't planned to ask, but you just raised a great point. I have always actually, Yvette Chappelle Ingram, our fearless leader at AABLI, she and I at one time had talked about having junior executive board classes for our young people put on by AABLI that would potentially teach them these types of things. I just throwing that out there. What is your thought about that?
Oh my God, that would be awesome in a lot of different ways. One, we have a central location where they can come, they could grow, they could learn. As you and I know, Nancy, mentoring is a lot more than just helping them get through the day. It's a lifetime of skills that they may or may not have, that a lot of it you pick up through osmosis, that you pick up just watching other people, the way they carry themselves. I always use the phrase that let me be the example, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. And I hope in most cases it is good to show young people, instead of telling them what to do, show them that example. I think as young people, young adults, we tend to lead by example if we allow ourselves to, versus telling them what to do, because sometimes they don't just respond to us telling them. But if we lead by example and they see it in our life, and as a spiritual and a Christian person, it is very important to be that example that you want to see.
Very good. I think that's a great idea. And maybe we're inspiring somebody here today to look into creating that program and creating those spaces for our young people for that.
Absolutely. On board to help.
So, Rosetta, is there anything specifically that you have taken lead in and charge in this particular time as it relates to grooming our younger leaders? Is there anything specific that you're doing? Anything specific, any of the other nonprofits that you are affiliated with are doing to support our young people?
Yes, one of the things that I manage a lot of events for nonprofits. So one of the things that I do for CAP, which is young people, it's the California African American Institute. They help young people from starting at grade 3 all the way through college. And they have a program at Cal State Fullerton where they bring in different people to speak, different people to help them, whether it's with the budget, how to do financing, and to show them that, you can be something different from your environment. We've all had a past, but don't let your past dictate your destiny. You can be successful if you choose to be successful. It's never easy, but then life is not easy. So what can I do to help you? One of the other organizations I volunteer for is the Boys and Girls Club. So one of the things we have to realize that kids have to have their basic needs met. And what I mean by that, Nancy, is they have to have food. They have to have the basics where, they have shampoo, deodorant, toothpaste, some of the stuff that we take for granted. But if you're an inner city kid, if your parents don't have those funds or don't have the means to give you your basic needs, which is really food, water, clothing, and housing, how can you expect them to learn when they don't have their basic needs being met? So as used to be in the traveling world, but now with the pandemic, we're all kind of on lockdown. But one of the things I do every time I travel, I ask for the toiletries from the hotel. I ask them to donate additional toiletries. Not only do I collect the toiletries in my room, but I ask them for additional toiletries for my nonprofit. And all my friends know that if they go to hotels, most of us don't use that stuff, but I guarantee you it's someone out there that could use it. My church will gather all of that and go down to the rescue mission and give it to the homeless and give it to the mission. So there are so many ways that we could give back and help young people in general, those underrepresented, underserved individuals, that we could just do stuff and we just think outside the box.
Yeah, that is excellent. Those are some excellent tips and excellent ideas. In fact, I concur with you completely as it relates to those tangible goods, to the hygiene products, what the viewers can't see is that my whole office behind me is filled with those types of things, including diapers, hygiene kits behind me, that we are giving out to those families that are struggling and those young people that are struggling, many of them housing insecure. So there's a lot that's going on now out there, and a lot going on with our young people that we should be keenly aware of, that we can support in many other ways too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, my last question for you this afternoon, Rosetta, is we as AABLI members are so fortunate to have this network. You and I just met recently, but now I feel like I know you forever, known you forever, and you're my friend forever now, and anything you need, and I will be calling on you for many things. Uh, so it's so wonderful to have this network. A lot of young people don't necessarily understand or just don't know about the power of your network. So, what are three things that you would say, and you've kind of touched on a lot that we have said that we're going to ask our AABLI alum, our fellow is what I'm trying to say, AABLI alum to do in this particular situation. But what are three things that you feel AABLI members can do to inspire, support, and mobilize our young people for positive change?
Oh, Nancy, that's such a great question. You know, one of the things I think that AABLI alums can do for first and foremost is, you know, be available, be visible, help the young people. When someone come to you and ask you to help or ask you to speak, if there's anything you could do to help them, please do. So one, be available. The three things I say, you know, that are important is your body, being visible in the community, your voice. We all have a voice. What are you doing with your voice? Are you doing something that's going to uplift someone? Or are you doing something that's going to tear down someone? I hope that you're uplifting someone, even if it's just a simple thing as saying hi when you pass a stranger. Because, you know, one thing we don't want to do is take away somebody's hope. Because hope is something that we all have, but you might be their last hope. So as you go through life, don't get too busy to say hi. Don't get too busy to take a moment to really ask somebody, how are you doing? And first and foremost is your resources. And again, resources can come in a lot of different ways. But right now, I would like to appeal to my alum class number 6, because we had some great individuals in that class. You have an organization that was started by African Americans that's helping Black people do great things. And for me, just going through that class and seeing all of these accomplished Black people, it just did something to my spirit. It uplifted me. Nobody had to say a word, but just walking in there was just such an uplift to my spirit, my body, my soul, that I will carry with me until the day that I die, because it touched my heart that much to know that we have an organization that is trying to help Black people set on boards, paid and unpaid. You just think about the depth of that change as we start getting more individuals out in this world who can make a change, who can accomplish great things if they just have the resources. So my class, I am challenging you.
Well, not to be outdone, Rosetta, I am actually calling the challenge to my class, class number 5, to step up also. Rosetta put it so eloquently. Now is the time. Now is the time to support our organization through these periods. And also, it gives us an opportunity to get involved and to give back. So, class number 5, I'm reaching out to you also. Rosetta, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure talking with you this afternoon, and all the wonderful tips that you've given to our board members that we can think about as it relates to supporting our young people. You are absolutely right. Our young people are the future, and they have got the bull by the horns right now. And so whatever we can do to support them and make sure that they're going to be successful, that's exactly what we should be doing and what we will be doing. So thank you again, Rosetta. I look forward to speaking with you and hanging out with you soon. And thank you to all that have watched our discussion today. AABLI alum, we need you. We're calling on you, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.